Hi, I'm the Miserable Gamer and welcome to Kingdoms and Castles. Now this is a great little game harking back to the days of Caesar and things like that from the, what would that be, the 90s, early 2000s. There was a massive run of Caesar games which was all about sort of like running your kingdom and building. I think that's what's been missing recently. It's a really good city builder game and I think this could possibly be it. It's available on Steam at the moment. It's only about £6, something like that. It is in early access, so it is limited at the moment, but that doesn't mean it isn't challenging. It is quite challenging. Right, so let's have a new game. We're going to go Paxlon, which is no threat. It's a peaceful land with no enemy invaders. Long, lovely summers and short, mild winters. Now, I'm doing this simply because I haven't played it on anything else. I'm just learning the mechanics of the game, and I just want to show you what I've learned so far. I've started and restarted about 24 times now, just learning something each time. So we're just going to go Paxlon, and I've got a particular seed that I use, which is 105 957 4795, and that comes from Steam user Krynox. He found this brilliant seed number, so you can use that number and play along exactly on the map that I've played. Alright, now here's the map here. I think that's the map. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the map. What I've tended to be doing is putting my keep here in this barren land here, and then you've got this lovely large area here. Basically, because the game works, you can only put farms on fertile land. The fertile land is this green and the dark green. Dark green is very fertile, so you get a production bonus if you place on it. But you cannot place farms or orchards on barren land, which is this yellowy green. But later on, once you get enough resources, you can build aqueducts and what's the name of them? The Varegas. I can't remember the word for it. Noriga, that's it. I think it's Noriga. And that allows you to irrigate the land, so you can turn the barren land into fertile land, I believe. I have not got that far yet. This white stone here, that is mineable stone. The black stone is non-usable stone, and the yellowy brown, the tan brown colour is iron ore, and then obviously you've got the green trees. Later on, when you get enough money, you can actually remove rocks, but it does cost you money, and I'll brush upon money later on. Right, so let's accept this and go, and you can choose your banner. I always just go with the lion because it's great, and we'll call this Misery Land. Right, so let's go in. Right, so here we are. We'll pause. So it's the usual right mouse button to rotate, and then WSAD to move around. I struggled when I was first starting off. The king has decreed that you went no, I renamed it. It's not called Summerhold, so that's obviously a bug there because it's picking up on the name that I changed it. But it has got Misery Land at the top there, an unpopulated land. Now, if you click here, you've got fresh water, and as you go out, you get salt water. So you get these inland freshwater zones. So that's fresh water, and that turns into salt water. As I said, you can click on and you see that's barren land. That's fertile land is ready for agriculture, and then you get these very fertile lands. Right, okay, so the first thing you have to do is plop down your keep. So you go to the castle menu down here, and you've got your keep. So you got your, you can move it around, you press R to rotate. Now what I tend to do is put a road out from every side. So I want to aim that about there. So I've got a road coming out the middle here, going down. That's perfect. And you also want to leave room because you can build castle walls. It's not really necessary on the peaceful mode, but later on when you get raiders and things like that and enemies, you're going to want castle walls and things like that. So let's plop him down about there, I say. Right. Okay, so your two main building materials will be wood and stone. Obviously, the wood comes from trees, and the stone comes from the white stone there. Now, you can manually chop down trees, but you cannot manually farm quarry. You can't manually quarry stone. So there's this. I struggled when I was starting off because there's this balancing act. So what you need to do is you need to manually chop down trees in order to build a quarry, to get some stone, to then build the forester's hut. Once you build the forester's hut, you get a steady flow of wood coming in. But there's a trick here, because you start off with 5 people, populous people, peasants, whatever you want to call them, and each production outlet requires staffing. So what I found the best thing to do was to start a quarry up, get 5 stone in order to build the forester's hut, then shut your quarry down. You can close the quarry, so you don't have to delete it, you just shut it so the staff come away. That opens up your staff to building, because otherwise if you run the forester and the quarry at the same time at the beginning, you don't have enough staff to build anything. Alright, so we'll put it on speed run, allow the keep to be built. This builds up quite quickly. Now when you build the forester's huts, you have to build them where there are existing trees. You can't just put one over here and expect trees to be built. They have to go in existing trees. And everything has to be built around the roads. Now if you go to the town menu, these are all the things you can build for the town. And there's the road, which costs 1 wood per tile. Now what I tend to do is, and here comes the rain, first off we're going to build a forester's up here. No, we can't build the foresters yet. We've got to build the quarry, haven't we? But we need more wood for the quarry. So the first thing we do is start chopping down some trees. Mark some of these trees for destruction. A quarry is going to cost you 15 wood, and you get, I think, 2 wood per tree. So we'll speed that up. 1, 2, and 3 to speed it up, and the tilde key to pause. Alright, so we've got 20 wood now. Bearing in mind that we have to build the road as well, because you can't build something away from a road. The road has a construction zone which allows you to build. So let's click on the road. You can't click and drag yet, you have to do it one at a time. Right, so that will open up the ability to build a quarry in there. What I tend to do is do a road out on each edge like that. Then I do a circle round the keep. That's basically how I'm going to build my my main castle later on. I will need to remove these rocks later. Right, so now we should be able to build our quarry, which will go in there. You cannot build it, see where it goes red. It does not allow you to build it anywhere else. You could build it that side, you could build it there, but I want it this side, I want it as close as possible to my keep. Now we need to get that up and running, and we need 5 stone in order to build the forester's hut. Once you've got this going, once you get the forester up and running, it's a lot easier. You don't have to manually chop any wood. And later on what you want is 2 quarries and 2 foresters to keep a decent flow of wood coming in. For this map I'm going to build a forester's up here, because once I can actually show you, once we get some stone in, I can show you the foresters have an area of influence, and they will plant and chop trees in that area. They're moaning at the moment because they don't have any houses, so we could build them a house. Ooh, excuse me, to keep. We can build a hovel, which is going to cost us 5 wood. We can plop one in there just for now. A hovel will give beds for 5 people, so that will keep our immediate populace happy for the time being. Okay, we've got enough wood at the moment. So I'm going to build the first foresters here in this area. See the guys carrying the wood back. And they'll store it in front of the keep just down here. Alright, we've got 3 stone. Right, they're happy now because they've got a house to sleep in. Alright, so we've got our 5 stones. So now what you want to do is shut down your quarry. So you click on the quarry, so you bring up the dialog box, and you untick open. That'll close that down and enable those people to go off working elsewhere. So industry, forester. Now you see the zone of influence. You don't want to push it too high because that'll push it into the sea. So I think we'll... I wanted to do it there. Right, okay, so we'll have to build another road along there, which should increase our zone of influence. I'd rather get it in there. I think... No, not going to work. Anyway, we can always move it later. That'll do for now. We'll plop him in there. And now the little bods, the little peasants, they move faster along a road. So it makes sense to build a road to your foresters. It does negate them planting trees in that section, but they've got quite a large area anyway. And the next foresters will be up here. So what I'll do is I will chop trees to open up that middle bit. Right, so the foresters is now running, and it takes 3 workers to populate a foresters. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is build a road straight down here. So we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we're out of wood, yep. Now, people will only move into your town if you've got enough beds. So at the moment we're capped at 5 because that's all the room we have in the hovel. But we could build another one. We could actually build 2 more, which will bring that cap up. But we have to make sure we've got to build some farms soon, you see, because we're down here. We've got 25 food and we can only store 50. Any food that is not put into storage by the end of winter, by the end of autumn, will perish. But we can build a granary later to increase our storage capacity. But what I want to do right now is get down to these spots here, and there's a reason why I want to build on these spots. All right. You see the forester's off there. He's going to plant trees and chop trees down at the same time. So he will keep a constant flow going. Right, we've got some more wood so we can build some more roads. There we go. So we've got 3 hovels now, so we've got 15 beds, as you can see down the bottom. We've currently got 7 people. We can now open up the quarry again and start bringing that stone in. Right, as you can see, we've got this zone of influence on the road where we can actually build upon. This is the orchard. I'm not going to build an orchard yet, but you can see I can only build the orchard on fertile ground. If I move to the barren land, it doesn't allow me to build it. Yeah, even a little square on there will not allow me to build. But I'm going to utilise this down here in a moment. Once this road's built, I will explain. We have an iron ore mine there, which we can plop down later. Right, we're seriously running out of food, so we've got to get some farms. Now, if you get a spot like this, where you get a barren spot in the middle of your fertile land, build around it, and I'll explain why in a minute. And this is going to be the basis of our town down here. Lots of room. That'll be our town centre. Right, we should have the fields up and running for next year. In fact, to speed this up, I'm going to close down my quarry because they're taking 4 people at the moment. Those 4 people can help get these farms up and running. Yeah, don't be worried about shutting stuff down to push it. At the moment, you can't prioritise stuff. You can't say, I want you to concentrate on this. It will just work on what you've done in order. Yeah, I really want to get these farms built for the coming year. They'll plant the fields in spring. So at the moment they're having to run quite a long ways to because the stockpile is up by the keep. So I have another square here that I can use for my building, my farms if necessary. I will explain that method in a minute. Next thing we're going to want to build is a granary, and we're going to pop that around here somewhere. And we can build that granary now actually. That will give us a boost of 200 food storage. I'm going to build some more hovels. The granary is one of the most important buildings because if we breach the 50 limit of food that we've got at the moment, we'll lose that food. I found that these 9 farms is enough to keep you going up to quite a large volume. So all that food will be taken back to the keep for safekeeping. But once this is built, once the granary is built, they'll just put the food straight in there. Right, so we've got 20 beds at the moment, so we've got a 20 populace limit. We've already got 18. So we can open up our quarry again. Because I want to get away from building the hovels, because the best building to build is the cottage. But it does take 25 wood and 10 stone. But that houses 12 people. So that's more than twice the space of one. It takes up two squares, but it gives you more than twice. Rather than just 5 per hovel, you get 12 peasants per cottage. And you also have 2 heads of household. The 2 heads of household are the people that run around getting the food and things like that. Alright, so you can see our granary is now built. And so we've got a 250 limit on food, and we've only got 4 in storage at the moment. Now the fields are a little bit dicey, because if you have a bad storm, and you'll notice that with lightning and things like that, the fields can flood. Out of 9, I've had 3 fields flood at a time. If you leave the fields alone, after about a year they'll be usable again, or you can delete them and rebuild them. I think what we're also going to build is a small stockpile behind the granary here. That'll mean all of the stuff will be brought down and stored in the town for building, because this is where our main building area is. You can delete the stockpile and move it elsewhere later, but most of our building will be down here. So it makes sense to have the main stockpile here. Right, those fields are all running now, and we're bringing in a fair amount of food. Right, next thing I want to do is build the roads around my town, my keep rather. And then we can get our next forester going up there. But we need more wood for that. Eventually we will delete these hovels and move everybody down to the main village. So just two cottages will replace all of those. As you can see, the forest has been hard at work and he's planting a load of trees. We will extend that road out along there so we can access these quarries here. Unfortunately, that mine there, unless we can clear that rock, is inaccessible entirely. And then what we'll do is we'll use this stone over there. We'll build another quarry over there. Could build one there. No, it's just out of the range of our road, unfortunately. Can't get to that one at all. Yeah, so we'll have to use this one over here. I will want to remove that stone, because my castle walls will go down there, around there, and up there. To remove stone, rock removal costs 30 wood, 30 gold, and 10 tools. So we're going to need the blacksmith, we're going to need the treasury room, and all sorts up and running. Right, we seem to be struggling with people building at the moment, so we'll shut the quarry down to release those people so we can get this building up and running. Alright, we've got 39 food, so we're building up a decent amount there. Yeah, it was 64, 69, 75, 84. So we're building up a nice stockpile of food. The stockpile there itself is going to be up and running shortly. Right, that's done. So now they'll move all of their stuff that they make, they'll bring it all the way down here for us. And you also have a small stockpile at the keep as well. Whether it keeps that up to date, I don't know once you've got your stockpile, or whether it stops doing that now. It'd be interesting to work that out. Right, we can build a cottage, so we will build... Don't really want to build on the fertile land too much. So we'll build... Yeah, we want to build up there. Most big buildings are too wide, so you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then build up that way. Now, if we build up there, we've got all this area here, this barren land that we can build on, and we can keep the fertile land for orchards and things like that. In fact, I might build an orchard there. I do tend to find I'm running the game mostly in full speed, so I'm hoping they speed it up a little bit. Because speed 1 is so slow, normal speed is incredibly slow. Yeah, so even though we've got that stockpile down there, they are still maintaining that stockpile. Let's build a cottage there. Can we only build one? Yeah, we can only build one cottage. We need some more stone. Really wish you could click and drag this. Ah, that'd be why I've got no workers, because they're going over to the forests as well. So we just want to shut those down, just to concentrate on getting these buildings built. Once we get some more residents built, then we can open those buildings up. But they're there for future. They're there for us to use. So we're already in year 11. It's taken 11 years, 11 game years to get this far. That's quite a lot. So if you hover over the keep, you got this exclamation mark, and these are your 3 advisors. So we've got the agriculture. Sire, our food stores are running low. They're really not. Perhaps more farms could help. The city planner is saying, Sire, the peasants are mostly fine, but we could do better. Try examining our house to see how to improve our peasants' conditions. Our military is saying, good day, Sire, because there's nothing for him to do. If you do click on the houses, you can see the cottage here. Houses up to 12 peasants has 2 heads of household for bringing food and charcoal to the home. Now, if you go down the bottom here, you've got the things that make them happy. You've got access to charcoal, residents want neighbours, access to road, and access to a well. Now, without a well, you're risking fire. So that will probably be the next thing I want to build down here to keep the granary safe, is a well. So can we open up the... Let's open up the quarry again. Can we build a well? No, we need 10 stone to build a well. just got another 2 residents in. I think I'll build a well in the middle there. Once we get enough stone, we got 6 at the moment. Once that quarry, and here's a major storm. 5 of my fields flooded. So I'm going to delete those because they will take too long to come back. They will not produce anything for about a year. So it's going to be quicker for me just to delete them and create the fields again. Their crop for this year is ruined, but I've got enough in storage, so I said, or you can just leave them and the water will drain away. Oh look, they're actually starting to plant again, so yeah, so I was actually quite quick there and managed to rescue them. But no, they planted too late, so the crops have died anyway, so but they'll be ready for next year now. Right, I want to shut that down. Right, we've got 14 stones. Now we can build our well. Now, the well has a water influence, okay? That is basically a fire protection, okay? So in that area, you can be guaranteed that if the fire breaks out, you're going to be able to put it out. Fields can catch fire as well. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but fields can catch fire. I suppose if you have a dry corn crop, it could burn. But we'll plop that down there. We'll probably end up just putting a hovel in between there. Yeah, we'll pop a hovel in there just to fill that gap. I think we'll probably put an orchard in there because we can't fit any more farms. We can't fit another ring of farms in there. Orchards don't flood, which is a handy thing. No wonder, can we put another... Yeah, we can mine the other side of that stone if we wanted to. I said I will be removing these stones once we get some money. Money! Money, money, money! So look at this. Look at the amount of trees he's planted. Absolutely brilliant. Alright, so the orchard's up and running. I think they need 3 workers, whereas the farms only need 1 worker per square. But it takes up 4 spaces, so 4 farms there would take up 4 workers. So you're saving a worker. Right, I'm looking to get a windmill, and I'll explain the windmill. So I need 35 stone to make a windmill. We've got some free workers, so now we can open up that quarry as well. We're getting a warning again. Sire, your kingdom is happy and content. Perhaps we should raise taxes at a treasure room. We haven't built the treasure room yet. We will. So we've got plenty of food coming in at the moment, but I just want to guarantee our food supplies. Right, now if you click the windmill, the reason for leaving that space in the middle and building around that barren bit was so we can place a windmill in the middle. A windmill has this square of influence around it. Any farms, not orchards, any farms built in that square of influence will be enhanced. So they will build... I found that an unenhanced field will give you about 6 food per field, and enhanced will give you an extra 2. So we're going to build the windmill in there. And we've got lots of overhead now for building our... lots of food overhead for introducing a lot more buildings. But we're going to need to introduce some charcoal as well. Yeah, but I think I'll leave it there for this part, and we'll come back and we'll go into making charcoal to make people more happy and bringing in money. I hope that was interesting for you, and I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found that useful to get you started, because I did struggle a little bit with there's no instructions or anything in the game. If you didn't like that, please hit the like and subscribe button. It enables notifications with a little bell icon to make sure you get informed of new videos that I put out. And you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at miserable_gamer, and Facebook is /miserablegamer, all one word. And leave me a comment below and let me know what you think of the game. Let me know how you think I did, and if you've got any better ways of doing the game, of playing the game, please let me know. I'm always open to suggestions, or just say hi. It'd be great to hear from you guys. So once again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.